Good afternoon and welcome to Padre's Ponderings. The bell is tolled.
Merry Christmas, soon to be.
Happy New Year.
Soon to be, coming quick. I can tell by the championship football games fixing to be played on Friday.
Oh my goodness, I watched one this
Friday
weekend.
afternoon, about, I don't know what time it is, Friday afternoon, Alabama and Cincinnati are first, and then early
Georgia,
evening, Michigan and Georgia are second. So I mean, you kind of mark time by those.
Right, and then professional football. They're
Yeah,
doing the whole playoff thing.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that stuff, but I'm not much in
And
professional.
probably,
And they're canceling these bowl games. If you saw where there's
I
two or
have
three of
seen
those,
that. East Carolina's game was canceled, yeah.
knocking it out.
But you probably can mark time too by the decorations are probably starting to flow back to the attic at your house.
At our house? Oh yeah, she started yesterday. Started yesterday. The Ted and Sandy Thoburn gave us this really
Yeah, it was
beautiful crash. It was just really amazing. Boxed up carefully. So the box is stacking up, and when I go home today, all the ornaments are going to be off the tree. Denise is coming tomorrow. Wonder Woman will be there.
It's exciting putting everything up and celebrating, but there's something about clearing it all away and having a clean slate.
Oh yeah. I went in to say hello to Elena this morning. Christmas is over at her house.
Done.
Everything gone, tree, whole deal. When you come into our neighborhood, the house on the corner,
Yep.
all the stuff out there, you know. I went by yesterday, the Christmas trees laying out there in the yard. Gone.
Now, I will say, they put them up, like, right after Halloween or something.
Oh yeah,
So.
been there. The tree was kind of peaked looking. Not many
Well, and
needles left
here-
on that thing.
So here we keep the decorations up at Historic in the chapel through this weekend. And Epiphany is January the 6th.
That's right, that's the
A
12th.
lot of people keep all of their stuff up until January 6th.
So we do here, because this will be the second Sunday in Christmas, the Christmas season. And then it'll be over with after that. So you got trees and the poinsettias and all the
Christmas
stuff.
songs?
The historic campus looks great over there. They did it in white this year instead of red. And don't remember ever doing that. White poinsettias and white lilies, and it was really, Stephanie and them did a great job with all that.
The overdoor with oyster shells in it was beautiful.
The ladies there do a great job.
Yeah,
All
very
together people
talented.
do a great job too.
Yeah.
Very special.
Cross Point's cleared off. All the Christmas trees. Tim Edwards came this morning and boxed all that up.
Gone.
Gone.
Yeah, tomorrow. Denise will be there while your mama's already got an appointment to go to the pedicure.
I'm sure she wants you to say that.
It looks like you already been. You all frocked up there. You got some new sneaks on too?
No, I do not. I'm sorry, Jason. My mic was messed up. I know. I mess them up all the time. So you did a great job on your sermon. Christmas Eve, we had lots of people coming through this campus. I wasn't on the other campus.
Yeah, it was a big crowd on the other campus. Big crowd. Went from here, 6 o'clock service, we were full here, to the 8 o'clock, we were full over there at 8 o'clock, and then had about half full at the 10 o'clock service, and about the same amount at the 10 o'clock service on Christmas Day as well. Jonathan and Josh did that one. People asked where I was. Jonathan called me that afternoon.
Well, because I believe that I put it out there that you were going to be there.
You did?
And then it changed.
So anyway, Jonathan said he's been here 25 years in a row, so maybe he'll be back next year.
Oh my gosh, Jason.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Technical difficulties?
Is that better? Oh, my bad.
Run the crowd off. Run them off.
Sorry about that.
Gracious goodness.
Oh, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Sonia and Kimberly and Karen. Hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. I saw some pictures from some of you posted.
Sonia who?
Hurst.
Because Sonia and Michael over in Germany, they were going to an ancient church over there. Christmas Eve. Yeah, I think it's going to Christmas Eve service over there. Lots of snow over there where Regina is as well, lots of snow. No snow here.
Though.
No snow here. In fact, it's warm outside, but I was determined I'm wearing my sweater. Once I start with my sweaters, I'll keep up with that, you know.
You'd rather sweat
it's
than
December.
take it off.
It's December. So.
It's been hot almost everywhere, but California's getting snow.
California?
Not like Los Angeles, but
up in the north
Lake
part.
Tahoe and stuff, they've gotten record snow. So
Better than us.
Yes.
Yeah, I got the air conditioner going upstairs. End of December. It's supposed to be cold.
So now we're at that time. There's so much prep leading up to Christmas. And then yesterday, the office was closed. Friday, the office will be closed because the holidays were landed on Saturdays this year. So we got Monday and Friday off. So now we're looking into the coming year and the vision for the coming year. And we're going to have an annual meeting
In
this
February?
year in February. It's like around the 20th or
Something like that. It's the third Monday, I believe it is. Yes, I think it's the third full week, that Monday. We'll do that. School campus and have a meal over there and all that. And I'm preaching my first sermon this year. It's entitled No Time to Snooze in 2022. I'm preaching on one of the lesser known men in Scripture. You'll have to tune in to see.
Okay. Old Testament, New Testament?
New Testament, Book of Acts.
Okay.
Eutychus. People.
No Time to Snooze in 2022.
That's right. And then my sermon after that is my title of it I just worked on a while ago. Call, Consequence, Commitment. That's from the Old Testament. Isaiah's call.
And we've got Pastor Josh is going to be doing Wednesday night teaching, the first Wednesday night teaching in the chapel. We'll be streaming that, followed by
That'll be 6, I think it's
5 or 6 weeks.
5 or 6, and he's doing on Paul. Yep.
And then
And
followed by
that's going to
Jonathan.
start the Wednesday after he is ordained.
Yes, which is January the 19th.
Here. Yep. That'll be a special
And everybody's
service.
welcome to attend that service, 7 p.m. on Wednesday, January the 19th. And it'll also be streamed, so if you've
Yep.
never seen an ordination service, it's really special.
Mm-hmm. It'll be real nice. But I'm glad we're going to be able to have it here and have it streamed so that people will be able to see it. And he has a lot of friends and relatives that are scattered over other parts
Right.
of the country, so they'll be able to be a part of that as well. And that's important. Real important. And then Nathan will be ordained sometime in May. We don't have an exact date for that, and that'll be here too. 2 big services.
So
2 really
we're
special guys.
starting off 2020 with a bang already.
We have finished 2020. We're starting off 2022.
Did I say 2020?
Yes.
My bad. I've had a couple of days off. And they keep talking about 2020 on the news. So it's
2020?
Yes,
Well, anyway,
rehashing.
your mama said she was going to get used to practice writing dates on the checks, and I
It
said,
takes
"It's
me a good couple of weeks.
much better to write dates on a deposit slip. Learn that way."
And really, you don't have to do that either one anymore.
You know,
You take a picture of it and deposit.
she does. She doesn't do that, but a lot of her bills, all that stuff is electronic now. She's into all that.
Well, it makes things a lot easier.
But we had a lot of great people here. Got to see. There's a number of folks still not back yet, but many were back for the first time for worship services. Many folks here was the first time they'd been in the chapel.
Yes.
First time. And I suspect many of them will be back to the chapel now instead of where they used to go, wherever that was. And I saw a picture of Dathan dressed up like a shepherd.
He did a wonderful job with the children's service. It was just the perfect amount of time. He came out and he had on his collar and a jacket. And then while Jordan was singing the first couple of Christmas carols, he went and
behind the stage, and then he came out dressed as a shepherd, and his little message was him talking about being a shepherd and being at, or going to see Jesus, and the announcement from the angels, and it was really, really cute.
Shepherds
That's a fun service.
Yeah. Shepherds were held in very low esteem. You know where the first time that comes up? About shepherds being held in low esteem. I just happen to know this.
Okay. Did you read it?
It comes up in the book of Genesis.
Okay.
Joseph sold into slavery.
Oh, yes.
He's down there. Then when his family comes and he's going to introduce them to the Pharaoh, he says the Pharaoh's going to ask you what you do. Tell them that you keep livestock. Do not say that you are shepherds. Shepherds were low, worst of the worst in Egypt. Do not say, and that's, he tells them, do not tell the Pharaoh you are shepherds. Then later on, after the death of Joseph, when a Pharaoh arose who knew not Joseph, the people in the land of Goshen where they lived hold it against them because they are shepherds. And you get this civil war kind of deal. You know, we have prejudice and stuff, so there was this huge prejudice against shepherds in the Old Testament times, and that carries over to the New Testament as well. That's another story.
Well, that's interesting.
It is interesting. Well, just a nugget.
A little nugget.
A little nugget.
All right, what are you reading now? You've had a couple of days off too.
Yeah, I finished 2 books, and I started last night. I started another one about Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. Very interesting.
About their friendship?
Very. I didn't know the background of that. Didn't know the interconnectedness with John Brown and the Harper's Ferry Arsenal. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. Did not know that when John Brown and his group of fellows captured that arsenal at Harper's Ferry, that the government troops come from Washington. And do you know who was in charge of the government troops from Washington? Robert E. Lee.
That was what I was thinking.
And
at the time, he would have been.
He was a colonel, and he was in charge of about 100 men, something like that. Also in that group, Jeb Stuart. Also in that group, Stonewall Jackson. And when they hanged John Brown, there's a whole bunch of people. John Wilkes Booth is in the crowd. He's camouflaged as a soldier. He dresses up in a Union soldier's outfit because he's an actor. You know, really interesting. And the whole idea of how Frederick Douglass, and that's not his real name.
Really?
His real name was Bailey. But when he escaped to the north, he changed his name. And then it's not until way later on when he becomes famous that he begins to tell his story and calls out the slave owners that had him and all that kind of stuff and tells them his real name. But by then he already has his freedom. But they have the law where you can go and get them wherever they are and bring them back then. So, but it really is very, very interesting. I know I studied that and the Dred Scott decision and all. I know I studied that in history long ago, but it wasn't fresh in my mind. But I've enjoyed going through that, and about the third of the way through the book now, and Lincoln's just been elected president, so we'll see what happens with that. Very neat.
Yeah, that's a fascinating period of time.
You know, they had the election slogans, Tippecanoe and Tyler-2 and all that kind of stuff. You know what his was? The rail candidate for president.
Lincoln's?
R-A-I-L. The man who did the Tippecanoe and Tyler-2 was like a political operative kind of person that worked for campaigns. Needed a slogan for him, so he went back to where he came from in Illinois and interviewed people and found out that he split rails and all that kind of stuff. And so that the rail candidate, and brought back some of those rails that he had split And when they had the convention in Chicago and all, they had those rails over the door when people came in and all that. Pretty slick. Pretty slick. Anyway, little tidbits you pick up in these books. See?
You have a lot of interesting facts.
And then before that, I read a book about Joseph. Had not read that book before. Very interesting.
Joseph, the carpenter?
Mary and Joseph and all. Read a book about that was given to me by a member of the parish after I preached that sermon on Joseph. He remembered that book, and he found a used copy of it somewhere on Amazon and got it and gave it to me. Real good. And then before that, read a book about Ed Grumfield, who was a basketball player with the Knicks.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that one.
And then became the general manager for the Knicks and all that kind of stuff. About his family. He was the only player that had parents killed in Auschwitz and all that kind of stuff, you know. Really very interesting. Very interesting.
So do you ever, you know, New Year's resolutions and that kind of stuff, do you ever have like a number, I want to read this many books, or you just...
No.
Some people have a goal, I want to read 50 books.
No, I read probably, I bet on average 2 books a week, something like that. So, you know, whenever I see something, your mom will get it on Amazon, it comes the next day. It's amazing to me. Golly day.
Completely spoiled us for having to wait for things.
And then I'll read, while I'm reading that, you know, I mean, I always keep something going. So, and I like books about people.
Right.
I want to see what's happening with people's lives, how they become who they become, and how they're shaped by circumstances, and not so much by inheritance. By that I mean by family characteristics and things, circumstances in the people that I'm reading about, and maybe it's just the people I'm reading about. Circumstances seem to have more influence on a person's life and how they deal with them, and all that shapes character. Their character is forged in circumstances more so than at home. All of them have fairly good home lives. You don't see that about Frederick Douglass, but because you just don't have any background for it. But
which is when you're...
And it was not true with Lincoln either.
Right, he had a hard life.
Hard life. Hard life. You know what his mother's name was?
Was it Sarah?
Nancy.
Nancy?
You know what her last name was? Maiden name? Hanks. You know how I know that?
No. Well, you read the book.
I read it in the book, yeah. But before that, what was the big express train that went through the Midwest? The Nancy Hanks. That was the name of the train.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Before your time.
Yes. Way before.
So what service did you go to? You went to the children's?
I went to the children's service, the 4:30 Cross Point service, and the chapel service.
All of them different, weren't they?
All of them very, very different.
Very different,
Yes.
yeah. And I think it worked well having
the high mass.
the chapel service and the two on the historic campus the same.
Mm-hmm.
That worked out well. So that people could go to whichever one they wanted to and to be the same. Yeah.
But I like that high mass on Christmas Eve. And Nathan was having a blast.
Oh, did you see the grin on his face?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
He had that grin on his face for 2 weeks. He was practicing in our office area and outside in front of the school a couple of weeks ago. And how many times he had to, I mean, he had it down. It was,
oh, yeah.
It was fun to watch him.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of smiles among the people that were here. A lot of smiles. And that's big. That's big.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward now we start the new year. And I'm hoping that we get to that place. When are you thinking about for the 9 o'clock service starting back
Our
again?
target is, I can't remember the exact date, but it's towards the end of February. I think it's actually the Sunday after the annual meeting is our hopeful target to get things rolling and have the 9 o'clock service back at Cross Point. So we would have 2 services at 9 o'clock on this campus again. We'd have the chapel service at 9 and the contemporary service at 9.
Very different. And then the 9 o'clock contemporary and the 10:30 contemporary would be the same.
They're exactly the same.
Same services. Yep. And then at some point in time, you know, perhaps we'll need to add a 10 o'clock, 10:30 service over here and have a 9 o'clock and 10:30 service over here. We'll see.
Yeah.
People are starting to come back, praise
They
God,
certainly
and
are.
new
We've-
people.
We have had to put out more chairs at 10:30 to accommodate. So, and then we had over 600 chairs out on Christmas Eve.
Wonderful. So what are you looking forward to in the new year?
I've just tried to make it through this one right now before looking at it, honestly. Somebody asked me something about that. I'm like, can I just get through the Christmas Eve services first? I don't know. There's something special about a new start.
I believe that too.
A clean calendar.
By the way, I got some things to add to the calendar.
Not
Sitting
so
on my desk
clean,
right there.
but it'll fill
Looking-
up fast.
And what I did, I went back through did this morning, went back through my 2021 calendar to look at things that happened during the year that are recurring, like when confirmation classes are and blessing of the animals and
Leadership.
leadership. So I've got all that stuff for the fall and springtime. So it's all those are basic kinds of things that are going to be there regardless. So looking forward to getting back into the swing of all that and getting it in a sense of routine.
Yeah.
You know, the unpredictability
That's hard.
of the COVID stuff is always out there, even though we're moving on. You don't just like Grace is fixing to go back to Kentucky, you know, and she's got to fly on an airplane. And all of a sudden you got the unpredictable stuff that goes with all that. Boy, and Drew's got to go on an airplane too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got to go further. Right. But we're not worried about it right now. I mean, you can't. Those
I mean,
decisions
it's
are
just
made literally the day of.
Yeah, it's just
Minutes
there's this.
before.
It's the idea is this unpredictable thing.
Right.
You plan, but you don't know what might come to interrupt the plans. It's always been that way. You know,
It's just things magnified now.
it's just the COVID thing has created this uncertainty all the way through. Didn't see a whole lot of masks though in the worship services. Had some, but not a whole lot. So I think that says something about where people are. Plus it says something about Bluffton, that we're not in the midst of some kind of big hot spot that I'm aware of. So schools are rolling, churches are rolling.
And school opens January I don't think they come back until the 5th,
I don't know.
which is nice. Nice long break for the teachers and the kids. Yeah.
But we'll be rolling services this Saturday, even though it's January 1st. We have
Yes, we
Grace
still
Time
have the Grace
service.
Time service on New Year's Day,
And
January
then
the 1st.
full slate of services on Sunday. And I think Nathan's preaching on the historic campus,
Right,
and Josh is preaching
Josh
here.
is here.
And I'm on the historic campus over there, and then I'll be preaching over there the next week.
And a couple of people asked about envelopes, giving envelopes. So if you still use the envelopes for giving, which many of you do, which is
yeah.
great. A lot of you are giving online, which is great also. Envelopes are going to be mailed out.
And they're going to be mailed out the next day or two.
We hope. There's a little bit of a computer glitch at the post office.
What?
So Elena's going to try to go to the Hilton Head post office and see if she can
Oh,
mail. I know
computer
that
glitch at the post office.
that's just not good. So
Wow.
envelopes will be mailed to you though. So be looking for those probably within the next week.
But in the meantime, we take checks. So,
Yes, you don't have to have an envelope.
you know,
And year-end giving. So today's the 28th, right?
yeah.
Year-end giving. If you want to do I don't know, special giving or stocks or something, you need to make sure it's marked, postmarked, and then labeled
Postmark
by
no later
December
than the
31st.
31st. Yep. Yep. And if you don't have given envelopes, use a regular envelope if you want to do that. It doesn't make any difference. We'll send out the second it's either the second or third week in January, we will send out statements for
Right. The
your tax
past, right.
purposes next year of what you gave this year.
Right.
So, we've been very blessed. People have been very, very generous this year, as they are every year. But this year particularly so. Very blessed.
And yesterday the office was closed, but the food bank was rolling. They blessed 107 families with food yesterday. So coming up this week, one of the big needs that they sent out last night was cereal.
Cereal.
We're good on diapers and wipes. We've been asking for diapers and wipes for a long time. We're good on diapers and wipes. A big urgent need is cereal, like boxed cereal. Other things too, not just cereal, but that one's very low. So.
Wonder how they get ahead on diapers and wipes. I would think you'd use that more than cereal.
I guess it depends on how many people are coming to receive diapers and wipes. Maybe they didn't have as many this week. God's Gifts will be back, I'm pretty sure, next week. God's Goods is closed until the 4th, January the 4th. So they'll be
Now we've got,
back
when
open.
is the Experiencing God?
Discipleship Explored.
Okay,
Discipleship Explored is starting up January the 10th. Jason just put it up for me. January the 10th. It's 8 weeks. Mike and Yvonne Broadhurst are going to be leading that, along with several other people. Already gotten a really good response of signups for that. So
Where-
if you're
is that
interested
gonna
in
be
a
at the parish
study,
hall?
it'll be on Monday evenings, eight Monday evenings in the parish hall. No dinner, just that time of study.
You know,
And
I-
conversation. It's around around tables, so small group conversation.
There's a
It's a
teaching
great
and then
program.
discussion.
It goes through the book of Philippians. So we've been working on prepping the materials for that. So
That's
that
great.
would be a great way to start the new
So
year.
that's the only teaching that starts before the third week,
Yes,
when teaching on Paul starts.
right. Then the Wednesday night teaching will start with Pastor Josh. There is a women's Thursday evening study that I might have a couple of spots for if you're interested in meeting in a home and having a small group.
Is that one that
I'll
you're
be
leading?
posting on that. Laura knits,
Laura, all right. Laura's a very special lady.
and it's at someone's home, which is always nice.
So the people come to one home, or they're scattered in two or three?
We have two ladies that have offered, and they will alternate houses, and they happen to live like right across from each other, which is kind of
Really?
neat. Yeah. So you go to the same spot, just a different house, depending on the week.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So looking forward to that. So if you're interested in that, I'll put it in the comments because I think I have a couple of spots left. But when it's in a home, you can only have so many.
Now, is that starting before the
It's
Wednesday
not
night
starting
teachings?
until February,
Okay,
but we've got some time.
okay, good.
So, all right, what you doing the rest of the day today?
I'm writing a sermon. Writing my No Time to Snooze.
No time to snooze. All right.
Yeah. Eutychus.
Well, snooze, and did you get some rest?
Let me tell you. I didn't get up till noon Christmas Day. And then I got up about 10 the next day. And the next day. And then today I'm back 7:30. So took a while.
I
I
don't
got
think
behind the curve there.
people realize how much when you deliver a sermon, it's the prep. Not just the 23 minutes, 24 minutes, but it's the prep that leads into it. And they say public speaking is, when you're doing public speaking, that 20 minutes is actually like 8 hours. On your body.
It's training.
Right. So you think on Christmas Eve you did how many services? You did 2 sermons
And I did 3 services.
and 3 services. So
But I can do it.
glad the youngsters did the 10 o'clock for you and you were able to rest.
One of them, no, I preached at 10 o'clock.
No, 10 o'clock Christmas Day.
Oh, Christmas
Because you
Day,
were still
yeah.
asleep.
Yeah, that was Jonathan and Josh. I'll get back there next year and say hello to them. I'll still let one of them preach, but I'll be there. Some old buddies come to that one. It tends to be a group that's up in years, and they don't like to drive at night anymore. And the
And I
Christmas Eve
understand
services
that,
are all,
yeah.
you know,
They're all
times
at night.
they're all at night. So that's just smart. So, and I'm glad to do that.
Yeah, that's a great service. All
So I'm
right.
working on a sermon this afternoon.
Working on a sermon, prepping for calendars, sounds like what I'm
I'm
doing.
gonna give you that sheet.
Yeah, so be looking at the website calendar because the stuff's going to start getting added rapid fire pretty quick.
Yep.
So lots of stuff will be going on.
And if you want to get ahead, look up Eutychus.
Okay, there you go. Acts.
Eutychus.
Okay, look up Eutychus.
Eutychus is you.
Okay, Eutychus is you. All right, this Thursday on the e-news, make sure you check out that comes out at 3 o'clock in your email. Elizabeth Markle did the writing for this week, and she's talking all about the care ministries. What we used to call pastoral care, we're now calling care ministries. So lots of ways to get plugged in as you start the new year, and different resources for everybody. You don't even have to be a member of the church, but we have lots of resources for caregivers and one-on-one conversations and walking alongside people, military care, lots going on. So make sure you check out that from Elizabeth Markle on Thursday.
She's a special lady, isn't she?
Love Elizabeth, yes. She was just in here. Yes.
Huge heart.
Yes.
Huge heart.
Perfect. She's in the perfect position for her gifts.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, food bank, cereal, canned foods, rice is another one. Lots of things that are needed for this coming week, so make sure you're bringing those to services, or you can drop them off Saturday from 9 to 11 or Monday from 9 to 12, and we'll collect those at all locations on Sunday too. So, all right.
Your mother was going to give some crescent rolls to the food bank.
She's giving them to me instead. I'm taking those handouts.
The needy person next door.
The needy person next door that doesn't like to
Didn't
shop.
want- Yeah. Goodness gracious.
Yes. All right, we'll go in peace to love and serve the Lord. Thanks
Thanks be to God. See you when I see you. Never doubt God's love for you or mine.